are changing, we're flying high, creating a complaint-free world.
Feeling polarized? It just sort of struck me yesterday morning as I was driving back to the Keys from Miami that the word poll is all around us right now. Where do we go to vote? We go to the polls. We feel what? Polarized, and we get polled to find out how we're going to vote or how we did vote. And in the last election, everyone was surprised by the polls at a greater extent than ever. And I'm going to talk about elections, I'm going to talk about the polls, but more importantly, I'm going to talk about your own power, and how you should never give it away. So let's get started with this idea of polling. I was thinking the other day that the word poll, what does it mean? Where does it come from? So I did a little research. The word poll comes from what is called the Low German language, and it means head. It literally means head. Easy to remember. Looking at me, see the top of this bald head? I look like the top of a pole, don't I? So the word poll literally means head, and it goes back to when people would go in and express their opinions in town councils and things like that. And when elections were allowed to be held, when people were allowed to make input, it was literally, okay, your head is counted. What is counted is your head. It's your head. That's what the word poll means. It means your head. So I was also doing some research and thinking about this concept. And unfortunately, and I'm going to be a little direct here, having grown up now somewhat, I'm 61 years old, I find that most people, and I'm going to say this, and you can get upset, and this just means that you're not one of these people that I experience. Most people pay about as much attention to a presidential election or to a major election as we used to pay in high school. I was the campaign manager for a friend of mine who ran for president or vice president of the student body. I think it was vice president, and he won. And I remember that it's so much like it is with the presidential election. In some ways, you make both sides make outlandish claims that you cannot deliver on necessarily always, and you also seek to position yourself against the other person. And that's the key to politics. As I have said before, politics is the ultimate representation of the 5 reasons people complain. G-R-I-P-E, gripe. People complain to get attention. If you want to get into politics, you start out by complaining. Complaining about a situation, complaining about a person's ethics, complaining about the way things are done. You start out complaining just to get attention so people will notice you. You then, if you are a politician and things are going wrong, you are complaining to, this is the R in gripe, remove yourself from responsibility. Hey, it's not my fault. What do you want? The conditions were this way when I got here. It's not me, etc., etc., etc. The I in gripe, which politics does that as well, stands to inspire envy. Inspire envy. It means to brag. People complain in politics against the them, the other. And that's one of the key points we have to take away for today. You can never have an us without a them. Let me say that again. You can never have an us without a them. So people complain to inspire envy. They complain about them to make ourselves, in our own estimation, look better and in the eyes of other people. So there's a lot of complaining about the other people. And in reality, it's bragging. It's saying, I'm not like this. It is done to inspire envy. The P in gripe stands for power. Plain and simple. I call it enrage and engage. If you can enrage people, you can engage them. And in fact, because of our dulcet brains and our cow-like heads staring at our phones all the time, most times it's the only way to break through is to enrage people. This is why the whole QAnon thing is taken off. Because when you listen to what is being said by the QAnon conspiracy theorists, it is all designed to really enrage you. And if you listen to it and believe it, it is enraging. So the P in gripe stands for power, enrage and engage. And the E in gripe stands for excuse poor performance. What do you want from me? I couldn't fix it because they were not on my side. This is often, and you'll hear every single president ever say this, if they have a divided Congress. I would have done this, but Congress wouldn't let me. I would have done this, but it's called excuse poor performance. So the very essence of politics is based on complaining. The 5 reasons that I teach when I speak. G, get attention. You got to get people's attention. R, remove responsibility. Hey, you know what? I would like to do it, but I can't because of this. I, inspire envy, which means to brag. Aren't we better than them? P, which means aren't you as angry as I am? Let's make a difference. That's enrage and engage. And E stands for excuse poor performance. I would have done better, but let's remember, as I've shared with you many times, human beings are tribal animals. I remember growing up my family, everybody in my family was a fan of the University of South Carolina. My mom collected gamecocks, and I still have some of her gamecocks scattered around my home since she passed. My brother's got the others. She had so many. And there was this acrimony between Carolina and Clemson fans that was fun. It fed it. For there to be a strong us, we've got to have a strong them. But you know what, friends? When it comes to a society and when it comes to a world, there is only us. There is only us. There is no them. We create thems to gain power, and we don't need thems. The problem is, once we join an us, and that's why I'm not in favor of states that require you to say that you're a Republican or a Democrat, because they found that once a person labels themselves, they look around and ask, how do people with the similar label believe? And then they stop thinking. Remember I said at the very beginning of this that the word pole means head. Don't give your head over to an us, and don't engage in hating a them in your head. None of this is going to heal the world. What's in your head? Your eyes. Use your eyes to see a brighter, more harmonious future. Use your lips to speak good things rather than talking about them, and use your ears to listen way more than you speak, because that is how we engage people truly, and we heal our relationships and we heal our planet. This is your pole. It's not out there. Take care of it, and remember the most important thing in your pole is your mind. Make up your own decisions. Do your own research. And remember, there's a lot more to this than when we had elections in high school. It's not about how often we get pizza. It's a lot more than that. And so you choose, make a decision. No matter what you do, vote. And please, there are lots of people today feeling hurt, uncertain, confused, not sure. share this with them. Just click share right now, and hopefully it'll bring some relief to everybody. And I'm going to close by telling you my favorite joke, which I've told many times. And I told it on the day that we woke up finding out that Donald Trump had beaten Hillary Clinton. The joke is that two old men are sitting on a park bench and they're arguing about the Bible. And one of them says, I bet you've never even read the Bible. And the other one says, well, I read the book of Revelation. And the first one says, what'd you get from that? And the second man said, God wins. God wins. Let that be your belief that no matter what happens, it's all going to work out. That human beings are evolving towards a higher, more loving, divine species. Don't buy the lie that we're not. Feel peace today and enjoy today. Thank you for being with me, and thank you for sharing this message with others. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
No more complaining people. Their lives are changing. We're flying high, creating a complaint-free world. No more